And we are back with some more, I don't know how to describe these middle tracks, with Walers. We are going on to number 73, which is the only Wii track in the entire video. This is Mario Circuit from Mario Kart Wii. As you can see, right from the get-go, you got Shy Guys and Hammer Bros standing on the fences acting like they're not jealous and that they don't wish they were characters in this game. No, they're just cheering us on because they want to cheer us on. Now, you know, this track does have quite a significant larger amount of off-road than its Luigi Circuit predecessor, or whatever you want to call it, the first circuit track in the game, Luigi Circuit. That is because you can use this track, use 3 shrooms in 1 lap. That is actually what the world record uses, because of the second half of the course you could just shroom all the way around and get a very fast lap time. Also, you know, you got Peach's castle beautifully rendered, not in high definition though, in the beginning of the track, and obviously you got a ramp that you could trick off of. I've never done really that kind of trick before. That kind of trick is hard. And then you also got the tree glitch. I was gonna fall off and die there. It's harder with a middleweight character, but you know, if you could do it with the funky and the spear, that is where it's at. So next up we have Tick-Tock Clock from Mario Kart DS. I want to tell you, I have a video on my channel just a couple of weeks ago where I uploaded me beating Super Mario 64 100%, or just me beating the final Bowser pretty much and collecting the Grand Star. I want to say if I played that game before I played this track, I would probably rank this track higher just because of like the nostalgia's sake and like, you know, the namesake and all that kind of good stuff. But I figured, you know, this track never really grew on to me as much as other people who adore Mario Kart DS. But I mean, I do like the clock theme. It's very unique to this track, and I wish they kind of implemented more clock related stuff. I mean, they just got ticking hands for obstacles and then rotating gears, and that's pretty much it, with a couple of pendulums. But you know, if they implemented more Mario 64 Tick-Tock Clock stuff into that course, I think it would have been really great. Next up we have Ghost Valley 2 from Super Mario Kart. Now, I want to say in my top 120 and top 136, I had this track ranked significantly higher than I have it now at number 71, and that is because I think I remember taking, you know, a lot of my feelings about this track from the Wii version of Ghost Valley 2, but the Wii version of Ghost Valley 2 is much better than this version of Ghost Valley 2. But I have to think about this version of Ghost Valley 2, which you can't do the gap jump without a feather, and there's no post where you could do, you know, cut off the first 2 turns in that course. So other than that, it's just a very simple course with a couple of jagged turns, and you definitely don't want to hit those blocks like in Ghost Valley 3. The blocks are a little bit easier to avoid, which is why it's ranked much higher than Ghost Valley 3, but still, it's kind of a fast track, and we're just going to move on from there. It's not much else to say about those Super Nintendo tracks. Now, you guys may be riding at this moment. This is Mute City from Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the first DLC pack from Mario Kart 8, and it is a very fast, very unique, very gorgeous looking track. Anti-gravity throughout the entire track, the first in the game to do so, and you know, there's something that you will miss when you're going through this track, just because you're going extremely fast, especially on 200cc. And above me is actually part of the road. As you can see, you're going around, you're taking this turn, but you're actually going upside down. As you could see the boost panels above me. That was where I just was about 10 seconds ago. So it's nice how Mute City implements that into their course right here. And obviously the finish is just completely nice. I've never had really great experiences with the track. The track looks amazing, I'm not going to deny that. It looks gorgeous. That backdrop and everything is just absolutely stunning. But overall, I think the track gameplay could be a little more fluid and fun in a sort of way. The experiences I've had on that track, you know, I wish I could do better on that track, but you know, that's just how it worked out. So number 69, we have Mario Circuit from Mario Kart 7, the second Mario Circuit track in just this video. I would have ranked this track much lower if I didn't, you know, replay it while I was recording it for you guys, but you know, I kind of had to so I can showcase this track. And then I realized after playing this track that this track actually is kind of fun. You got a nice mushroom that you bounce off of, a couple of grass shortcuts right there with ramps that you could take, and then you actually go inside Peach's castle for the first time, I believe, in all the Mario Circuit's history. and you end up going, even though it's not a very long time in Peach's Castle, you can go for just a short amount of time. And those blue and white blocks you could actually drive up, and you get that Mario Raceway vibe with driving on the sides of the pipe. And then you also got some Super Mario Bros. Theming with the bricks on the right side of the end of the track. And overall, it looks really nice, and it's a pretty nice track to race on. Now, GBA Bowser Castle 4 from Mario Kart Super Circuit. Obviously, this first section could be a little treacherous if you're not careful, because those lava squares do not have any rails next to it, so you could definitely fall into those. I would recommend going on the right side, even though it is a lot skinnier, so you would have a bit trouble. And I really like how this track, you could definitely see just under the mushroom icon, you could see all the turns and like the warning symbols and what kind of which way you should drift next. All that sign keeps popping up multiple times throughout the track. It's hilarious. And then here's the other side. You definitely don't want to jump into that long strip of lava. That's just there to throw you off, so you could obviously try and use the trick ramp to jump, but you're obviously just going to fall into the lava. And it's a very complicated course, but once you get the hang of it, it is pretty fun to race on. You got Bowser Castle 1 from Super Mario Kart, which is next up on this list. Again, a track that was previously ranked much higher on my top 136 Mario Kart courses of all time. And I don't know, just a reminder, when I mean higher, I mean closer to number 1, higher, closer to 1, lower, closer to 145. But anyways, we're moving on. This track is very short. It just got a lot of unnecessary stuff that it needs. Those the pluses on the very left side of the track, they don't really need to be there. I mean, this is a Mushroom Cup track, for crying out loud. You don't have to torture everyone by making them stuck on the corners and all that kind of stuff. And I hate those corners if you get stuck, because the corners aren't really finished. There's like one brick that is left open, and that is the absolute most corner of, yeah, right there. See that brick? If they just closed that brick, I would have gotten through that turn clean. But they do that with all their Bowser Castle courses. This one I thought was very simple, but the jumps and everything just doesn't work. For now, we have Lakeside Park for I don't even know what I just said right there, but we have Lakeside Park for the Mario Kart Super Circuit, the Game Boy Advance game. And what's cool about this track is very much about the scenery. You got the volcanoes going, dripping down left and right, and you got this nice boost panel. I wouldn't recommend going to the left like I am right now. I'm just showing the complete track. If you didn't know that there was a shortcut that would let you skip that entire turn, I would definitely rank the track much lower on the list. And there you go. You can see the sky is changing as the rock is in the volcano is turning into ashes. And then you could also, it's not faster at all, as you could see my ghost caught right back up to me, but you could cut off that entire large turn by cutting through the lava. You may be able to do it with a large character, and that is the shortcut I was talking about. Just cut off that entire end turn. Overall, if those shortcuts weren't made, this wouldn't be ranked at 66, and that is why I enjoy playing Lakeside Park and have really grown to it compared to how it was in my top 136. But next up we have, I believe, our only Mario Kart 64 track on this list, Yoshi Valley. Yoshi Valley definitely has a lot of, this is a unique track because it's got a lot of different turns. It's like a maze. When playing this race in a Grand Prix or a versus mode against computers, the game does not know what position any of the computers are in. So it's pretty funny when you're going around the middle of the track, the maze section, and there's just question marks for the top 4 positions because the game just cannot recognize who's in first place and who's in second place. They did fix that in Mario Kart 8, and somehow I did not get run over by that egg, but thankfully I did not. And this ending part could have been a little bit better. It's just a bland dirt road on some grass, but the main, obviously, entertainment of the track right here is these separate paths that I'm quickly showing you. And you also had that gap jump that I fast forwarded through, but there was a gap jump there. You could have skipped that entire gap, which everyone should know by now, so I didn't have to slow it down for you guys again. Now we have Music Park from Mario Kart 7, or Melody Motorway for you PAL players out there, which in my opinion is a much cooler name than Music Park. But we're not going to talk about that now. We have a couple of nice ramps with some grass that you could take some shortcuts in if you felt like it, but we'd rather save our mushrooms for the ending. Every time you land on a piano, the key that you're on will play and make a sound. which is really nice, especially you know, going with the music that is already playing in the background. And then you got these giant notes, which are like blob figure things that, you know, once they bounce on the track, the track levitates. It's kind of like an earthquake, so you could actually trick off of that track. And this track is pretty long, but other than that, it's kind of enjoyable. I enjoy the music in that track. That's pretty much the most enjoyable thing to like about that track, which is the music, because it's called Music Park, for example. But now we have a very simple track, Ghost Valley 1. Not much to say here. Pretty much most of the stuff that applies to Ghost Valley 2 applies to this track. However, I just like this track better because of its simplicity and its general direction. I like the gap jump that you could take with the feather on the corner. It's nice. It's a nice version of Ghost Valley. You know, you got a couple of unnecessary ramps here and there, and you definitely don't want to fall into those squares. I'm just bad at the game, that's why I'm running into them, but it's much easier to avoid the squares, so I find this track more fun to play because I actually stand a chance against the computers on 150cc. Moving on to 62, you guys might be surprised to know that Mario Kart Stadium is ranked number 62. Now this is actually a pretty good ranking for Mario Kart Stadium, considering there are 145 tracks in all, but considering that in my top 136 Mario Kart Stadium was ranked in the top 20, it's kind of shocking to see that it's down here. But over time, when my top 136 was made like a month after, not even a month after Mario Kart 8 came out, I had a lot more bias towards this track because I really enjoyed the anti-gravity feature. You got the fireworks in the corner, and then you got obviously a stadium with people cheering all around. You know, you could see them hopping up and down, and then you could hit that helicopter. I always try and hit the helicopter. It's pretty fun. You could run into those barrels. There's, you know, gas stations all around next to you at the starting line, and then you got a couple of grass shortcuts you could take. You know, in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, the world record would take the grass cut next to the pipes, but there's that. We have number 61. I don't know what else to say about Mario Kart Stadium. It's just a pretty good starter track. That's all you got to say for that one. Mount Wario, I'm putting this, I believe, on 2x speed, maybe a little slower, but that's because it is a 1-lap track, so I will have to show all 3 laps of this track. We just completed the first lap. There was that nice shortcut there, and we're entering a nice cave section. I know some of you guys are probably shocked. Mount Wario never really impressed me from the start. It probably should have, because it's a really good track, and the music's not bad. But I think, you know, they managed just like a little bit too much with the track, especially this tree section, which could get kind of annoying. And then, you know, when a spiny show comes to hit you around here and everybody passes you, you know, it's not fun at all. But then this track is pretty much just a getaway to the finish. A lot of downhill slopes. Just you can make it all the way down. This is simulating like a ski jump or something from the Olympic Games, and you gotta finish it, take a last shortcut, and then end your lap right there. There was Mount Wario. You know, just a 1-lap, top of the helicopter down to the finish. And Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 8. You guys probably are upset / mad that Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 8 is ranked above Mount Wario, but hear me out. You know, I tend to actually like Rainbow Road, especially in the original Mario Kart 8 when you didn't have to worry about purple sparks flying you off the edge. And the space theme is kind of unique to the Rainbow Road, so even though it is my least favorite Rainbow Road, because this is the first Rainbow Road ranked in the, you know, in this entire top 145, I still like it because it's different from all the Rainbow Roads. It's got that space theme. You could see Earth on the bottom. There's a couple of shortcuts you could take. You could always do path switches, which I don't show here, but I will show in a little bit. And this ending circle is a little bit annoying. I don't really like it because a lot when I'm using a combination or on 200cc where you can't really turn all that much. And then here's an example of some of the path switches. You know, I like the space themes, but you know, I want them to go back to what the Rainbow Roads used to be for the future. I'm just glad they did it once, and it worked pretty well in Mario Kart 8. But now 59, our only Mario Kart Double Dash track, Wario Colosseum. This is, I believe, the only 2-lap track in all of Mario Kart history, and it is pretty nice. You know, it does give me that nostalgia vibe because it is just a nice, you know, kind of like abandoned roller coaster. You could see nobody is in the stands, even though there's spotlights going on and everything. So it seems to be functional, but there's nobody in the stands, unlike in Waluigi Stadium for the same game. Now this turn here, after the circle is very difficult, so you know it's fun to do, but you know it's very easy to fail at the same time. There's that little gap jump that you could, or that little downhill slope, very steep downhill slope where you lose a lot of speed. So I don't really like that a lot. And then I like the middle part here. I always go on the middle ramp. It might be slower than taking the outside route, which the computers always take, but I always feel that, you know, it's always more fun to do because it adds more excitement to an otherwise, you know, bland / boring track. Even though the detail is very nice, but the overall layout / the surface of the track itself is not that exciting. Let's just say that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys probably can't even see the words. Thanks for watching because they're in a different color. They're in blue. But we are going to be moving on to episode 7 soon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I probably repeated myself too much, but that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Walers signing out.